Good evening, folks. This is vk3sl. Welcome to our late night test missions on 160 and on UHF. And we have all systems go, I think. We are ready to rip. And I wonder if we've got Frank on the line there. Maybe not. We'll catch up with Frank in due course. Anyhow, we're here to keep the airwaves warm with recorded test material, mainly historic recordings. That's the nature of things. And what we might do is start off with a recording of the Vienna Phil. This is from a batch of records which has been bestowed upon me. In fact, I'm custodian of this batch of discs, which belong to a Sydney collector. I picked them up from the other day, and I'll be dubbing some off for him, and eventually he'll take take custody of these records, but in the interim I'm going to explore a few. An interesting rarity here, the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra, recorded in the 30s, I think, late 30s perhaps, and it's a recording of Mozart's Eine kleine Nachtmusik. Certainly worth a listen. Good is it to hear Mozart that's not micromanaged? So often that piece is crafted to 1 inch of its life, but there we have a lovely full-blooded presentation, recorded 1936.
It's supposed to be a divertimento.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't sound very diverto to me.
No, well, it can be seen in lots of ways. I like its. I like to hear it with a large orchestra with strong forces and yeah.
It sounds, as you said, as though it's been very, very carefully crafted.
Yeah, well, often it's played with a lot of Mozart these days is played within 1 inch of its life.
Yeah, it is.
It's just so the diminuendos are so acute and the pianissimos are so soft, and it just sort of sounds like a caricature of itself rather than something that has a greater sense of line.
One of my old schoolboy memory song numbers. I really love it.
Yeah, so do I. I think it's marvellous. I mean, it's one of the first things I heard, actually, as a child. My grandfather lent me an LP of this as a young kid, and it sort of was a bit of a seminal moment. Yeah, it's nice to hear this version. It's got a bit of natural reverb, so it must have been recorded in a hall somewhere in Vienna.
Yeah.
I don't know whether Vienna Phil records were made. It was certainly made in occupied Vienna, being that late in the piece. But yeah, we're sort of sifting through an interesting set of discs, Frank. This comes from John Hanna in Sydney. I picked them up for him, and they're records that most of these will end up on his channel. And I'm just doing some flat transfers for him until he can get down to Melbourne and pick them up. But there's quite a few interesting discs here, and I thought I'd just play a few and just sample them and find out what they're about.
Sounds terrific. This is VK3JR in contact with vk3sl.
Yeah, testing on 160 and also on UHF. And we've got the prospect of a phone call a bit later on. And a text from the proprietor of Shortwave Australia.
Oh, excellent.
And we're going to give this a try.
We're going to have talk back, are we?
Yeah, well, I haven't done an acoustic phone patch before here, but we can give it a whirl. I'm presuming he's got some cans and can hear us clearly enough.
Evening, Mr.
Yeah. So yes, we'll see how we go. So I said around about midnight, so I'll play a couple of records first,
and
then
that's great.
And then go with the flow.
A very unusual evening. Clint's done the longest broadcast he's ever done.
Oh, really?
In fact, he's still going.
Oh, is that right? He's still okay. I'm probably underscoring him a little bit. Is he on 160 as well tonight? No. Okay. All right.
No, he's not on 160.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've only just got back from a show tonight. Actually, it's in the local theatre company with my daughter's involved with. Is they're doing Chicago at the moment. She's got one of the leads.
It's quite a show.
It's a terrific show. It's
good music, isn't it?
Yeah, look, all good tunes, and it's revamped 20s music. So.
Yeah, I know.
So she's playing Roxy. So,
wow, that's a big part.
It's a huge role. She's got a lot of lines.
The biggest part, isn't
it?
it?
Well, it's the sort of the main lead. She's got a lot of lines to learn. So, it was good to hear. It's nice to hear these kids getting enthused about 20s music. I think
terrific. It's quite a girl, Roxy.
Yeah, she certainly is.
I thought about 20 years ago.
It's a bizarre thing seeing your daughter play a racy part. But it's all good fun. Yeah, so I'm going in tomorrow night, so I'll have a short missions tomorrow afternoon. But anyhow. All right, well, we'll play a couple more records. We'll play some more from this pile. I notice here there's a copy of The Thieving Magpie.
Oh, I love it. Beautiful.
It's such a great overture, isn't it? And
yes, it is. I don't know what the rest of the opera's like.
No, I think the rest of it's sort of fallen into obscurity, really. But
marvellous flying music, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is.
I don't know any better music to kind of evoke flying than that.
Yeah.
Lazily flying.
Fantastic. Yeah, so this is a rather celebrated performance with Toscanini conducting the NBC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's on steroids. It's absolutely high octane playing. He sort of characterised that new vogue, very on the front foot, highly charged orchestral sound.
Yeah.
And you often recorded in a very dry acoustic. These early Toscaninis, they used the 8H studio, the 8 Haggis studio in BC, and which was renowned for its dry acoustics. But he liked that astringent sound, and
did he really?
And which is not so fashionable these days. Of course, we don't sort of listen for dry acoustics anymore. But
I like a little reverb myself.
I do like a bit of reverb, but yes,
You can always add it.
yeah, you can, and
Not quite the same thing.
it's not the same. And of course, you get the he wanted the acuity of the strings. He wanted the whip crack acuity of the sound to be prominent. So that was his intention. But yeah, we'll play it. It's two sides of a 12, and it'll take us about 10 minutes, and then a bit less, and then we'll start to see if we can get this phone patch thing organised as well. So the Thieving Magpie. I think this was recorded in about 1937, 38, thereabouts.
Oh, quite early.
It's the last recording. Anyhow, it's all good fun. could do an overture like Toscanini that had all the hallmarks of his playing with its sculptured perfection. And actually it wasn't recorded in a dry acoustic. There was a little ambience in that record, and evidently made in 1945. That recording of the Thieving Magpie Overture. It's one of the John Hanna collection of 78s, which I'm sort of riffing through as we speak. Now, have we got you still there, Mr. JR? You still with us? I got your channel open. Maybe you're out and about. I'll ring up Mr. Stew in a minute, but we will. I'll just check that your channel's working, and then I'll put a record on, and I'll ring through to our Shortwave Australia correspondent and see how we go from there. Hopefully you'll be back soon there, Mr. JR. All right. In the interim, I've got a special introductory record. Hoping that all goes well with our phone patch. We'll just have to play this record because it sort of typifies some earlier missions and various things. So here we go. I think got the SP10 engaged. We're going to use a different turntable today, but this will certainly evoke some memories. And we have our Japanese hit of the day. And
Right.
and I've got the channel open, the phone channel.
Excellent.
And
Right, hello.
Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you. Well, sort of. Well, let's see if we can bring that up closer.
Yeah,
Okay, we can hear you, Mr. Stu,
Right.
but it's not terribly loud. Now, let me see if I can do something about this. I've got my
thing.
yeah, can okay.
1, 2, 3.
I-
Oh, that sounds a bit better.
Yeah, you're coming through. I've got things, the channel open full,
Right.
and it sounds like there's a little bit of RF or something,
Oh, there always
or
is, I suppose.
bit of ringing, but that's okay. We can live with that. And
Could just do a mic patch.
well, that's what it sort of is. I've got a mic against the
okay.
phone. Yeah.
And hasn't got speakerphone, has it?
Look, let's try that. Let's try that. Yeah, that should work. Yeah, that's
Yes,
a good
well-
idea. Yeah, it'll be better. Okay, stand on by. We'll give the speaker phone. Yeah, there we go.
Rightio.
That's better.
Oh, that's better.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. No,
Turn it down here so I don't get feedies back.
yeah, there we have it. That's good. Thank you for that
Just a
suggestion.
second, I'll just have to take, it's about minus Kelvin here.
Yes.
And
I bet
I
it
can't
is.
hear you through I had a beanie on, I couldn't hear you through the wool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, sounds like we've got a result. This is good. Yeah, yes, I should have thought of speakerphone. Yeah. Here I am doing the other way. Okay. Well, good. Well, I'm pleased that's coming through nicely. And yes, I bet it's colder than anything there. Yes, we've had some pretty cold weather. I've been at Warburton all week, actually. In fact, I've been very close to Millgrove.
Oh, right, yes.
Yes, I've had my annual immersion in conducting bands and orchestras at camp, and yes, so I was hoping to escape and go for a bit of a walk, but these things just can't happen. But yes, it's nice in Warburton. I mean, look, it is freezing and blustery and everything, but I love the winter sun. And Mount Little Joe's towering above the place where we're staying in East Warburton, and it was quite beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
It would have been a bit cool, I should imagine.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah, definitely cool, and as it would be up in up in the northern state. So yes, you're getting many sub-zero days up there.
Well, actually, it's been colder this year, I think, than last year.
Right.
It was wetter last year, but we've had a few nights that, like, for a while there it was, didn't get 7 degrees at night or something.
No.
But the last week or so, like, when it dipped below 7 degrees after, at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, it's going to be a cold night.
Yes.
And you go out to get some wood at 10 o'clock, and there's all sparklies on the veranda. The frost is already settling in.
I can imagine.
And yes, it can be quite cool.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, all right. So yes, I suppose you've had a couple of seasons. This will be. It's about a year, isn't it, since you moved?
It's a year and 2 months just about.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, so it's so you've had the full gamut now. You've had a season and a bit, and you've learnt the way of things.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh yes.
Oh, hello, Frank.
Yeah, Frank, can you hear us okay?
Good evening, Mr. Dave.
Yes, haven't spoken to you for a while.
Yes, I know. Much too long. Enjoying shortwave radio Australia very, very well.
Well, you mean, do you listen to it?
Yes, it's good.
I have had exactly zero response from anybody.
Yeah.
Really?
Don't seem to make a big effort to seat them though.
It's I've never, maybe 1 or 2 a year on Facebook would report in or something, but there just seems to be no interest at all.
It's interesting, isn't it? I suppose things sort of start off with a flourish and then it settles a bit. I mean, I haven't listened as much, but I have been a lot busier, and I think a lot of people just have the radio on in the background and they feel as if they've made an initial overture and given you a signal report. Perhaps they just sort of don't bother again. But
Yeah, well, look, I've never rung up a radio station really, and I know when the other guy was on, Aussie Radio Man. I recorded all his stuff. I've got all his playlist here. I divided it into little, into songs.
Yeah.
So I could drive along listening to it in the car and hear shortwave music.
Yeah.
And I did all that, spent hours doing that. I never knew the man, never spoke to him, never talked to him, never emailed him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway. But
4.835 is bass string.
been on over a year now.
Yeah.
And 10 hours a day, and there's been no breakdowns or anything.
So systems are working well.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's really good to hear. And I mean, you've had some developments over that time. You've sort of modified and refined the whole process. And yes, you've got your tennis down the paddock now, I think, don't you?
Yes, that's right. They're all isolated.
Yeah.
I was interesting because there's a spot right on 1865.
Yeah.
Because we haven't got the two going, there's some, who knows,
Yes.
multiplications or whatever. And I thought, this is going to be a problem. When you came on, you just gazumped it right out of the way.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I
that's
thought I might have to go down to the shack on the creek and listen there.
Yeah.
But you're so strong here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
amazing.
Oh, that's terrific. Well, I'm pleased to hear that there's no issue there. That's so yes, just a byproduct of the mix, I suppose.
Yeah.
Isn't it ironic that it falls on 1865?
I'm on in the garage.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, it's about 120 meters to the antennas.
Yes, yes.
But down the creek, it's about 600 meters, so it's a lot better. I've set that up as a mini. I've put some antennas there and super receiving low noise antennas and stuff.
Okay.
And I'll take the tele radio down there and do some AM or something some night.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, excellent idea. Frank, I think you might be knocked yourself off frequency a bit there. Yeah, you might just need to realign there.
Yeah, look, it's quite amazed. It's interesting hearing you come through and listening around the SDRs and things.
Yeah.
And both your signal and mine, I think, there's a couple of them are really good. The rest aren't pretty crap, really.
Yeah, I've noticed that some of them have degraded a bit lately.
Yeah.
It's not quite what it was.
Now, I remember when I wrote in 2002, I was listening to you on your evening, your afternoon bit and the late night bit, all the way up past Cowan on Cape York Peninsula.
Yeah, yeah.
And I put an antenna up or just use the mobile whip. I'd hear you just booming through. In fact, I'll have to send you some. I took videos of it, of how you come through. But all the way up through outback Queensland. And then when I was still on Wednesday night.
Yes.
I remember, in fact, I've got a recording of it, up on Cape York Peninsula, 160 and 80 metres, just booming through.
Right. Gosh.
And all the way through, and I thought, maybe conditions are bad. Anyway, someone gave me, there's other SDRs that are not public. And there's one in Western Australia and one in Brisbane.
Yes.
And, the Brisbane one, I try and listen to myself or you or whatever. It's hopeless. I tried this one, 20 over 9. Stable signal as a rock on both on 2 and 4 megs.
Fancy that.
And you were booming through, and the Western Australian one's just the same.
Really? So we're not getting the full...
set up one.
Yes.
I think they've just got shit antennas.
I think people just put a noodle out of the window. Yes, that's what they do. How about that? Well, that's very interesting indeed, because you sort of get a false allure of thing or false sense of what's going on when you don't have the quality receive experience.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's sort of good to hear, because I've often wondered. I mean, most of the ones I tried just full of noise, or you can tell when there's nothing happening around it because it just goes blank.
Yeah.
You just get a very sort of you don't get the features and the static and other things.
Yeah. It's I think a bit of a delay here, unfortunately. But
okay.
I think Ironstone Range and the other South Australian one are good.
Yes, definitely.
The Hunter Valley and the Taree one's not bad.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think all the other Australian ones are crap.
Yeah, what a pity. What a pity. It doesn't take much really to put up a good tenors. I suppose maybe they're sort of biased towards the higher
40
bands.
metres and all that,
I think so, 40 and above. Yeah, we're still losing you there, Frank. I'll just check that I'm on frequency. Yes, I am. Yeah, look, I'm sorry. Maybe you should do the other day this happened and you did a reset and everything sort of went okay. So maybe you need to do... Yeah, something's amiss because we're not really getting you at all. It just sounds like you're 5K off or something there.
A bit like 10 or 15, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe more. So, look, you might have knocked the knobs. Yeah, wonder what that's... Okay. Well, Frank, maybe just something's really out of whack. Maybe just do a restart and hopefully you'll get a result then. Yeah, because I don't know, Frank. It's not ideal, is it? I can't imagine that the phone patch has any bearing on things. So I think maybe just a hard restart and then we can go from there. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Unintelligible. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Okay. Well, good luck with that. And anyhow.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I know often, like let's try and listen to my stations from Mr. Loops. It's pretty hopeless.
Yep.
And I've been in, at Carnegie, listening to it fine inside.
Yeah.
You dial up Mr. Loops and both channels are unintelligible.
Yeah, maybe he switches things off. Maybe he has a sort of, I don't know. You'd expect it to, or maybe it's just optimized for 160 and for the ham bands, and it's somehow.
Well, it does. You can see it drops off.
Yeah, well, perhaps that's the case, and that's.
Yeah, but even 4's pretty bad often.
Right.
Although it forces its way in.
Yeah.
But I think. A lot of these SDRs, people get a very bad impression.
Yeah, they don't really reflect the real world. I mean, look, you boom in here. I probably once a week I'd tune in and just have a listen for a while, and all the systems here, there's no problem receiving you at all. It's solid as a rock.
Hello.
Oh yeah, there you are.
Better.
Yeah, you're back
Is that
again.
any better?
Yeah, you're fine now.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Something. Did you do a restart? Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's fine now, Frank. It's all good.
Now, I've been. I'm adding more classical music to my playlist.
Oh, okay.
Good.
You might have noticed recently. Of course, years ago I got sick 20s hits. I really can't listen to 20 hits anymore.
No, you've been 20'd out.
I've got a bit sick of Top of the Pops sort of crap as well.
Yeah, but I love Kenny Everett.
Yeah, that's right. But
Can't have too much Kenny Everett.
The music, I've gone through so much, researching musics.
Yep.
And the chord progressions, and even if I haven't heard the song before, I know exactly what notes are coming and
Yeah,
everything.
you do.
Yeah, sure.
It's just
Predictable.
So I've been trawling the Internet Archive, which is really, really hard to search and find stuff.
It is, and it's under threat at the moment, the Internet Archive.
Apparently so. And they've always been under threat.
Yeah, I think so.
They
I
get the
think
money.
that's...
But, like, the thing is, there is some gems there.
Yeah.
And I've spent hours and hours, and often searching for things doesn't help. It's when you just do a random look, you go through stuff, just click on things for random, and 90 times out of 100 it's useless. Then sometimes you find something really good. Then from there you've got a nice rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah, this is it. You've got to find preferred
fantastic
sites.
stuff.
Yes, I've found some things as well that way on the Internet Archive, just serendipitously, just finding things. And you're right, you can't really search.
No.
A lot of them don't have descriptors or points of reference. So, yes, you have to just do the manual, which is sort of good. You find yourself in a place you wouldn't have expected. But there's a lot of music there, you're right. Stacks.
There's tons.
Yep, and lots of really interesting rare stuff as well. It's quite fascinating.
More coming all the time, it seems.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Definitely.
One of the sites I was looking at of 78s or whatever, he has 9.6 terabytes of stuff on the archive.
My God.
God, that's unbelievable.
Like 50,000 records or something.
It's
I
unbelievable.
mean, you can just shove stuff in and no one seems to care.
No, they don't. You just dump it. I've dumped heaps of my missions on there.
Regardless, just pour it on.
That's right.
Yes.
And the other thing is, I was collecting for years. If I was on op shops and stuff, I'd buy the Deutsche Grammophon records.
Yes,
classics.
of course. Yes.
Beautiful recordings.
They
They
always are.
are consistently of top quality, aren't they?
They certainly
They are, and they're all at home. And I thought, well, maybe I should bring them up and do them dubs.
Yeah.
But every Deutsche Grammophon record is on the archive
Yeah.
in pristine condition,
Yes.
and recorded with 10 different needle
Yeah.
sizes
They always
to get
write
the best result.
They do this, don't they? They explain. I know the site you mentioned, the really big one, because he'll typically use about 3 or 4 different styli to get the best of the record at different points along the way. I mean, that's real determination for you.
That's right. So all my scratch copies from op shops, just listen to just download them in about 2 seconds, and you've got them all.
I know you've got them anyhow, but look, you keep the records for the theatre. It's the
right.
It's the theatre of sitting there with a nice warm by your hand and just playing turntables. Yeah, that's what I do.
That Thieving Magpie Suite,
yes,
of course, that was I've still got the record in the old man's collection.
Oh, very good.
And used to sit down with the Rosewood radiogram and have that blasting.
And play that. How about that? There we go. As a formative experience.
So it brings back memories.
Very good. Excellent. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. It's nice to make these have these sort of associations. So you associate it with your old man.
That's right.
Very good.
So I'll tell you what. Also, the old 78 collections of Deutsche Grammophon sound really great.
They do. The 78s are particularly good. They are. They're excellent. Yeah, across the board.
They seem to be. They've got a granular, but it's a very thick sound. And very suitable for shortwave because they're sort of pre-compressed.
Yes, definitely. And
no, they're great.
They are. They're excellent. Good source material. Oh, that's excellent. I'm pleased you found that site because you can. How about sort of downloading? What's your preferred way to do it now? How do you go about sort of aggregating stuff and putting it together?
Well, I've got it all on a. Well, I just download from the.
You just do a direct download from the thing.
Well, I do a download, and then I put it into Cool Edit and make a file out of it.
Right. Okay.
And you can strip off all the crap and the metadata and all that stuff.
Yes, that's right. That's the thing. You've got to be able to sort of have a clean way of doing all of that.
Yeah. And you can just download it and.
You can download them, can't you?
Sort of automating it a bit.
Yes. I mean, so you're not doing sort of in real time transfers and that sort of thing. You're not because I know some of the other was the stuff from Mix. What's that Mixcloud?
Mixcloud. See, Mixcloud, you have to do it in real time.
That's right. Yes.
If it's really good, you can do it. Like I found. Originally, I got a lot of the Everett and the John Peel stuff from Mixcloud.
Yep.
And YouTube, and it took hours to have to listen to it and have it loop through.
Yeah.
But it's all on the archive. You can just listen. You can download it in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And in good quality too.
Yeah, there you go.
Amazing.
Well, that's so easy, isn't it? That's the way to do it. Yeah, just make classical compiles. And wouldn't it be good if we could find a bulk collection of John Carger programs, especially
that'd be great.
Remember all his music for pleasure programs because he just had such a way. I liked his arrogance.
Wow.
He just knew he was better than anyone else.
Yeah, he did. And he just had this attitude, and it's quite delightful. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what about Mr. Carger.
Yeah.
There's so little Australian stuff on the archives. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's it.
And mostly it links back to me.
Yeah, that's true.
Or Jamie.
Yes, that's right.
Mr. Hare, that's about it.
I think so, and there's not many other people contributing to the to the material. It's a shame.
But the thing about Mr. Carger now, I've been experimenting with AI and things.
Yeah.
And you can make. You could have John Carger doing your programs.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, can you imagine Dr. Floyd doing a punk rock program?
Okay. Well,
it can be done now.
See, this is the thing.
Yeah.
See, that's where AI is moving, of course. They can emulate voices, and
That's right.
they just need a sample, and then you can get them to say anything.
You could have anyone doing anything.
Yeah, that's right.
You could have Henry.
That's right. He could be back on. Yeah,
That's right.
He could contribute to these
You
missions.
get Henry on the missions.
Yes,
That's
yes.
right.
We could look. I tell you what. If you put all your old your archive, your missions archive, into the AI, black hole. You could certainly reinvent people's characters to a heightened level, I reckon, because there's so much. Well, there's so much personal investment of the same people over their lifetimes. You could sort of resynthesize someone's.
The personalities can be reconstituted into the void.
They could. Yeah. I mean, you need longevity to be. I mean, you need a vastness to be able to do that. But yeah, that's an interesting thought. It'll happen. It will happen.
I think we should have emissions by Dr. Floyd.
We could.
Dr. Floyd could do a program and introduce Walter Siskin.
Mr. Siskin, yes, with his Alan COSs. Yes, that's right. That he could be back on board. We can bring him in. He could be a special guest, and we could have Mr. Karga here, and he could waffle on. Oh, that would be brilliant. We could just have this, who's who of. We could have Mr. Hib. What's his name? Martin Hibble. Was that the?
Martin Hibble.
Yeah,
you could have Yaroslav Kovaricek.
Yes, he could come back.
You could have Jazzbo.
Yeah, bring Jazzbo back.
Oh, he'd be great.
See, look, it all can be done now. This is where we're heading. It's all going to happen.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It is. So you've been playing a bit with ChatGPT and stuff. It is astonishing, isn't it? I've just been mucking around and can't believe it.
You could write yourself you could get it to write a play and a radio play and get Laurence Olivier and other actors to do it.
Yes, you could. Definitely could. That's right. But exactly. So you could create a whole program, as you say, by just having the material and just getting the voice characterization of somebody else.
That's right.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, and that's there now. What's it going to be like? What's happening next?
I know.
Where are we going next?
Who knows? We go to the singularity.
I think so. And I'm to be honest, I'm spooked. I'm spooked. I'm one of these people who's. I even signed the letter.
Good on you.
I signed the letter. I mean, not that it means anything at all. The letter was just it's more of a statement about maybe pausing, so there could be more focus on the alignment aspects of AI, because we don't want to fall foul of a paperclip maximizer. So I find that a bit of a worry.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, otherwise we could just, this machine could have its own mind and could be given the task of turning all the atoms in the world into paperclips, and it would do it at the expense of humanity.
It's true, but it can just turn the power off to the servers.
I know, at the moment we can turn the power off. But maybe if it got really, really powerful, you could find, if it invents whole new fields of physics that we don't understand yet. I mean, when you think of the human IQ, the most intelligent person is supposed to be about 250 or whatever, and they reckon the AI will be tens of thousands as it exponentially grows.
I don't know.
So it could theoretically invent whole new understandings of physics. Everything could have, different physical properties and molecular understandings, and could create things that we can't even imagine. Then we're really in strife.
Don't forget that when the trains, Stephenson's rocket and stuff, people thought the humans weren't designed to go that fast. It was going to cause death,
we'd all disintegrate.
chaos.
That's right.
Yes, that's true. I mean, there was that. That certainly was and I do stand back and think that this has all been said before.
Yep.
So but these things are actually thinking for themselves, and
Well,
I
they
don't
haven't
think
got consciousness yet, I don't think.
Yet.
not yet. But I reckon if they are making decisions now, they're making right now they're making. Now, has any technology really made its own decisions before our time? Before this event?
To the extent of AI, no.
Yeah, before that, not really. I mean, we've always had controls. An atom bomb's not going to sort of blow itself
It's
up.
just reactive, wasn't it,
Yeah,
really?
exactly. It is. Entirely.
Well, the humans in charge are more of a worry, really.
Yeah, well, maybe.
But I think it's been coming a long time, because AI and completely autonomous robots have been in fiction for 100 years.
They have. That's right. They've featured strongly in fiction, and there's been a lot of speculation.
We had 2001, the movie, didn't we? Long
That's
time
right.
ago.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, 1984. Even H.G. Wells, the Time Machine, sort of evoked that sort of thing.
Dr. Hyde and Jekyll and what?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the altered states. Yeah.
So yes, I think. Look, it's not going to stop.
No, you can't stop it.
As I say, it should be guided, but
I think they need to put something in the algorithms that sort of, to some point, emulate the especially the altruistic and the more human interactive.
Yeah, you've got to have some ethical stuff in there, some moral sort of thing.
Yeah,
well, that's the rules Isaac Asimov wrote about. You know, that a robot can't do anything to injure
Asimov's rules. That's right.
A human.
Rules of robotics.
That's right. Written into the algorithms.
Yes. Yeah. Interesting.
He was really pretty far-sighted in his way, wasn't he?
That's right.
He really imagined quite a long way down the track sort of problems that we're now striking.
I think also, if you like, AI is the big thing now. Now, a couple of years back, it was self-driving cars.
Yeah.
They've gone very quiet on that because they realise they're nowhere near getting a self-driving car.
They overhyped it to hell, didn't they, really?
So if they can't even get that going, maybe they've still got a long way to go.
I can't see it happening unless they had cities fit for purpose for that sort of thing. You'd have to have a contained environment. You can't
have everyone doing it.
Yeah, I mean, how can an AI know the difference between a kangaroo and a person running out on the road?
Exactly.
Yeah, it just can't. It's not unimaginable.
You can't possibly foresee every possible contingency.
That's right.
Yep.
And when things go foul, what are the implications? What are the legalities?
Well, I think legally it wouldn't work.
Couldn't.
You can't, put a computer in jail or...
Yeah, unless we have computers making judgments.
Yeah. Maybe the law courts will just have a big computer up there.
Yeah. Sorry, what's that? Well, sorry, what'd you say?
I said instead of a judge, you have a robot computer.
Right, yes.
There's a lot of legal people concerned about having more and more interference from AI in making judgmental decisions about what you do with criminals and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it could happen. Look, I'm sort of in two minds. I'm really quite a recluse here. I hardly go into town at all. In the local town, and I go to Melbourne about once every 2 or 3 months or something. And I don't really care what happens because as long as I'm okay here, I really don't care less. I can play with it and mess around, and if it all goes to crap, we'll hopefully,
far enough away.
But I am observing it.
Yeah.
And,
well, you're not in a position to be directly affected by the stuff that's being that a lot of us have to contend with in the workplace and stuff like that, and jobs and
that's right.
You don't have to deal with that side of things. It's and I mean it's totally changing education. Totally, it's just
Now, see, education is really the way it's done is so antiquated.
Yes, look, in a good way. I think ultimately there'll be basically a plan for a personalised education plan for every person.
I know.
And then you won't need teachers, you'll just need facilitators. And,
I'm not sure whether you get it right, though.
Well, but maybe there are ways to sort of guide systems. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for something that allows people to flourish, because I think education only really works for a very small percentage.
Yeah.
And, not very small, but a lot of people it doesn't work for at all.
It was totally useless for me.
Yeah, for a lot of people. And it just crowds out your life, and it stifles creativity, and you can't be an expressive, forward-looking person. You have to fit into the cookie mold.
Sure.
But I think it has enormous potential to liberate people, young people, and give them different vantage points.
The whole education, there's such a
it's 19th century model.
Industry, teachers and schools and all this
sort
of stuff.
It'll all change.
There'll be a lot of pressure not to change.
There will be, but what I'm seeing is that people are quite open about it and quite excited by it. I see some places where AI is dirty word, and it's all about suppression. And I see other places where we're just gung ho embracing the technology, looking at what it might. And I think that's the only way to do it, because it's not going to go away. It's there, and it's exciting. Really, it's amazing.
Oh, look, I'm interested in it. But as you say, it's if I get sick of it, I just don't have to do it, and I can go.
Yeah, well, that's
go
right.
for a walk or something.
Well, that's right. Or when you can switch it off, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned about the sort of bigger existential things, and obviously, I want to see that there's still a world for my kids and their futures and things, and I do feel concerned that there needs to be at least discussions and input into alignment and to making systems that reflect the human experience.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about.
That's what it has to do.
Taking account of our needs and what we want, rather than having it have a life of its own.
Yeah. So, I think there'll be two types. There'll be the AI people living in an AI world, then the people who aren't. And it'll almost be like two societies.
That's the way it sort of happened with a lot of with the Industrial Revolution and things like that. And
that's right.
And it probably is the way it'll occur. But I suppose that's nature, isn't it?
And I think, look, some people can't change, some people can. But I never thought I'd say that I'm glad that I'm as old as I am, because I don't know if I'd fit into the new world.
Yeah, well, you'd probably be...
It's getting harder, isn't it? I mean, the difference is it's very hard to keep up with it, Dave.
Oh, it is. Look, I try and keep up with it. The technology, but it's the social changes that are the problem.
Yeah.
But then maybe humans will just, survive, or maybe they won't. Maybe some catastrophe will happen and we'll have to start again. That's another possibility.
Yeah, anything could happen. And, it's an exciting time to be around to see all this playing out.
It's probably the most exciting time ever, I think.
The most exciting.
Yeah, I think
some ways, but some ways the most terrifying as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I suppose you just have to find out.
With all the dangers of self-extermination and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of sort of existential threats, but there have been a lot in the last century that we've been able to narrowly miss.
Yeah, true. But the possibilities for it are becoming more far-reaching, I think.
Well, potentially, I suppose, because when the sort of notion of a singularity, when everything sort of implodes, and or at least the effects can have much greater magnitude. I suppose if things upset the geopolitical balances in a fundamental way, a lot of people are going to not be able to eat.
That's right.
That's sort of the bottom line. But there's a lot of people on the planet, and if you stuff up systems, I suppose. Yeah, but I remain optimistic, and I also remain fascinated and excited by it. To be honest, all of those things are my default, and I've always been a glass half full person. And,
me too.
That's right. You can't be negative.
You can't. You just simply can't. I mean, I've got a quite concern about some of the other things, but my default is it's really quite interesting. It's an amazing time to see all this playing out.
Fascinating to watch it all, isn't it?
Yeah. So, it'll all keep evolving. It's moving at an unbelievable pace, and just the very thought of being able to use the generative qualities of ChatGPT and things, and just see where that might lead, and in terms of expanding on hobbies and interests, and in sorting out information, clarifying things, and creativity. I think it'll enable human. I mean, there's a lot of people fear that the creative zeal will disappear and we won't be creative anymore, but I think we'll probably be a lot more creative because we'll just see things in a different way.
Just think how much time, like 30 years ago, it's a different world. How much time you spend at your computer screen or whatever.
Yeah, a lot too much probably. My wife says too much.
Too much?
But I'd spend 2 or 3 hours a day, easily, more probably.
Yeah, like I haven't done any construction or maintenance work. I'm just downloading programs and tracks. That's most of the time I spend doing stuff. I'm not outside doing outside things.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was like how you'd have to have your own record collection 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. You
or
would.
tapes or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I was thinking about the Musacs, I'd like to have composers, not like, we all know about the main 7 that are 90% of what's there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there's a whole lot that never get played.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Now, I know you're a busy man. Maybe a list of composers of Musacs that would be suitable, not light, frivolous stuff, but stuff suitable for a general audience.
Ah, okay. Yep. Sure.
Of composers, get away from your Mozarts and Beethovens.
Yeah, well, you want
change.
something that's a little bit different similar era, but perhaps
Yes.
there's a lot of material that's sort of just by the wayside.
And like you look at these record labels, I think, I don't know, it means nothing to me. Maybe it's a really good thing unless I download it and listen to it, which takes time.
Yeah.
If I had a few clues and some artists or whatever,
Yeah.
composers that might be suitable.
Sure. No, that's absolutely fine. There's so much good music, and as you say, we just scratch the surface, and we just keep cycling through the same 50 composers. But that's the way the market works, of course. So they've got to have known names, otherwise there's nothing to latch onto.
The interesting, the same old stuff. Like I've found, US college radio stations and stuff. Some of those are really creative.
Yes, I bet they are.
They've got some amazing music I've never heard of before.
Okay, great.
And the style of presentation, it's really creative. I've never heard it before, and
Okay.
it's fantastic.
Well, there we go. There's a point of departure. Relay some of them, or get some of that
Yeah,
material.
well, I have put some of those on.
Okay.
And,
Could be good.
I'll listen.
they're quite. In fact, I think there's someone now. I think it's.
Okay.
But yeah. So anyway,
Okay.
I just like something different from the same old.
Totally understand. Yeah, that's good. Well, keep searching and find. Look, I'd say yes. Look for. I think you're on the right track. Looking at sort of youth programs and things like that, because I think
A new material, that's not usually put to air.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, and experimental programs. There's a lot
It's
of people.
a bit like your program, I suppose.
Well, I mean, this is a bit of a nostalgia.
Steve does a very good job of ferreting out stuff, a whole range of stuff.
Yeah, well, we try and find variety, but there are young people with completely different worldviews and different sort of historical pretexts and things, and that's always an interesting thing. I mean, that guy who does Burning Vinyl has got incredible knowledge of a whole realm of music that's unknown to me. I find it so compelling,
Yeah.
things like that,
I've found some of these downloads. There's probably millions of people like you doing shows like you, either on community radio or just podcasts, put them out online.
Sure.
And they've got their passion and they know everything about the music they're talking about.
Yeah.
So there's no point in me doing a program because I know nothing about any music, basically.
No, it's good to just be a facilitator and just pick out things that resonate or seem interesting, and just make playlists. That's a great idea.
And the thing is, if you're using your own collection, and even though it might be diverse, it's not super diverse because hadn't always had an input into it.
That's right. It reflects your own biases and your own sort of proclivities and things.
It's unavoidable. It's good, actually.
Yeah. That's right.
And I often put stuff on I wouldn't have really listened to once, but I think now that's not so bad,
Yeah. I got very Catholic too. I can listen to almost anything. The only stuff I find a bit difficult is some club music. I find it sort of I start to sort of feel really dulled by it.
What sort of music?
Some club music, like really heavy, this sort of nightclub music, that stuff. And
Heavy metal I struggle with, I have to say.
Right, sure, yeah. So, some heavy metal I find difficult.
Very, very heavy metal.
Yeah, sort of death metal stuff can be a bit sort of less resonant. But I mean, I've always sort of have an open mind. I do like a lot of really. I'd like just listening to sounds. So
Yeah,
hearing,
well, of course, I do as well.
yeah, that's it. So I mean, so a lot of esoteric stuff it might sound a bit wanky and a bit weird and bizarre, but I just sometimes like hearing the sound wells,
same.
and just the textures. It's like, it's like paintings or feeling something. It's a sensual experience, I suppose. And
That's where synthesizers come into their own.
yeah, I see the synthesizers are great because they make sounds that never been made before. You can basically create whole complexities out of by just using filters and stuff. And
Now, one fantastic program I found down the rabbit hole
yeah.
is, I've been playing it a bit lately, This Is Jazz.
Oh yeah, I'll write it down. Yeah.
Now, it's a 35 series program.
Yeah.
It was made in 1947 from
Right.
WOR in New York,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was distributed through the Mutual Network.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fantastic jazz program.
Oh
Oh,
right.
I'd love
okay.
to hear it.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah, I've
good.
been playing it every night for about 4 hours.
Any special time?
Yeah, I suppose
well,
it's just.
I played it last month at the main time between like 6 o'clock-ish sort of time.
Yeah.
Now I'm having it later in the evening.
Yeah.
I suppose this is the thing. If there was some, I know you see, you don't want to be put to task doing stuff, but it's some general guideline. I'd listen if I knew that. Now I know it's on. I'll be listening out.
Well, you can always download it yourself.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
It's
yeah.
what it is. It was made in 1947, and it traces the music. It's not a chronological history of that, like each program's a program in itself. It traces basically jazz, American music from New Orleans back in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
And they have a studio orchestra, and the people who play the stuff are the people who are involved in the start of jazz back in the start of the 20th century.
Oh, sounds amazing.
Oh, boy.
Well, we'll look out for that one.
You
Thank you.
bet.
And
Thanks
it
for
was
the
a
lead.
fantastic program.
Okay. Wow. There we go. That's one for
And
the list.
I
Fabulous.
think it's actually an off-air recording because there's a bit of monkey chatter and other voices in the background.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Was that on YouTube? Was that on the
I think I got that off the
Mixcloud or from
Internet
Archive? Internet
I'll
Archive.
send you a link to. I've
Oh,
got
please do.
I downloaded them all.
That sort of thing would be of great interest because
Certainly would.
because we play a lot of early jazz here, and it would be
Yep.
nice to sort of to explore some of that. That'd
It's
be
a
good.
fantastic program.
Yeah.
And you dig up these things now. There's a series of discs. You know how before acetate you'd record on aluminium, 7-inch
Yeah.
aluminium, get about 30 seconds on each disc.
Yes, that's right.
Somebody recorded a complete program in about 1930 of a musical program from the BBC of Charlie Kuntz or whatever, one of those band
Oh
leaders.
yeah.
And it goes for 3 hours,
Right.
and someone's meticulously found them,
Wow.
dubbed them all together,
Yeah, Charlie.
and you've got
Kuntz.
this program, and there's lots of dead air and stuff, because
yeah.
obviously the production standards weren't that great.
Yep.
But it's fantastic.
Okay, I've written that one down. This is great. Thank you for the
And
thumbs up on these.
like, it was never meant to be recorded, but somebody recorded at home.
Okay. Yep.
And the quality is a bit rough, but it's listenable.
Yeah, that sounds great. Early wireless is just it's so little of it before transcription recordings came in. Things like
That's
that
right.
that are really special. Yeah, I know that Chris gave me a complete program of there's a Coon Sanders Nighthawks program from about 1929, which was recorded on about 20 sides of some private. I think they were made for some particular purpose,
Yeah.
and they've been reassembled, and it just gives an idea of what a big name program sounded like in the 20s in the States. And
Oh, yeah.
it's really high production values. It's really well done, but it's quite different to that the 30s. It's in that very formal early style, but with hot 20s
It's
music.
pretty boring, really.
Well, yes, it is by today's standards. It is. It's nothing like what we hear now, and I listen to it with a different set of ears. I mean, I don't necessarily go to be entertained. It's just fascinating. The presentation, the style. You know how people were, and it's like it's a timestamp. It's just this fascinating insight into the pace, the expectations. And that's what it is. But yeah, look, it's wonderful. I know that there's a massive archive of Willis Conover stuff that Frank and I found a little while back, and you might be interested in that. He was this guy who was on short. He was like a jazz commentator. He had the most mellifluous voice ever for radio. He's just perfect voice, just really low.
He used to listen to him as a kid on the USA radio.
Yeah, he was like a jazz commentator, but he was the coolest dude out there. He was a minimalist, and he had this beautiful, low, velvety voice, and he just interviewed all these people, and he's so cool. And he's basically I think there's about 500 items in his archive. It's held by one of the universities. I'll see if I can find a link and send it to you. It's really worth exploring. We've played quite a lot of them here in various times, and they are really amazing.
And it's jazz of all shades too. So if if some of it was you found too extreme, well, you could cut that out. And he covers swing, he covers everything.
Yeah, and he interviews heaps of the jazz greats. Like he just interviews them and talks with them, and so that's something we discovered. But,
look, I think there's so much stuff there.
There is.
One of the archives they've got every V disc that was ever released.
Oh wow! Now that's something that would be interesting because I've been playing quite a few. I've got about 20 V discs here. That's just a very small collection, but they are very interesting because they were all supposed to be destroyed. They weren't supposed to move beyond the mess halls of the US bases.
Yeah.
So yes, it's amazing that someone's got
all the top artists are there.
Yeah, they are often
performing at their best,
Yeah,
and with the gunfire in the background.
That's it. I've got a copy just below my feet here of the Pearl Harbor Blues.
Oh yeah.
It's a pretty full-on song.
Yeah, it's fascinating just looking around and seeing what you can find.
Yeah, definitely.
And you might spend. It's a bit like gold prospecting. You might spend a whole day and you just find one
nugget
thing that's worth it.
That's it. Be good if generative AI could help with the searching. If it could give you more sort of a diverse approach to searching for things. So because it can be quite a laborious business trying to sift the wheat from the chaff.
Look, I was thinking AI could help, but a lot of these files have just got, file XYZ23 or something.
Yeah.
Or
that's
late night program 1996.
Yeah.
Means nothing.
That's it. You almost need something that'll actually pick out the rhetoric or pick out the words and or some of the key phrases or something that sort of can lead in, just break through, because as you say, a lot of them are just not. They just haven't got any points of connection.
I think also that there's so much crap. It dilutes everything. Yeah, I know. And you have to get through that. Yeah, you do. You have to sift through, and it can be very fatiguing and quite dispiriting at times as well. So well, hats off to you. Perseverance with that. It's good that you're digging deep and finding things. Yeah. But it's interesting, isn't it, how there's more kudos in putting archives up online into public domain overseas than there is in Australia. As you say, there's so little. There's so little of Australia's output is represented. It's next to nothing. It would be less than 1%. Look, I think the ABC's probably got all Dr. Floyd and Karga programs there. Well, they probably do. Really, still. But they probably do. Not part of landfill or anything. Well, see, that's the other thing. I mean, the ABC had a big purge, and someone told me 1973 or thereabouts, and they destroyed 500,000 transcription records. And put them in. They're in the landfill. If you want to hear them, they're in the road between Newcastle and Sydney as road fill. So that's what happened to a lot of the pre-1970 archives. But there'd be a lot of stuff from the 70s and 80s that would survive, I'm sure. But I don't know. But even there's only a few tapes of Stan Rofe and stuff like that. I've trolled internet for years, and I've only found 2 or 3 of them. That's extraordinary. You don't hear them. Really good. Yeah. Like there's tons of the American rock jocks and stuff. Yeah. And English stuff. Yeah. But there's almost an unlimited amount of Kenny Everett and John Peel. Yeah. because people thought, gee, these guys are great to record them.
Mm.
But no one bothered recording anything here.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Is really?
It's staggering. I mean, but they probably are there. There's probably a lot of stuff, but it's just
They're in
not.
people's cupboards or old cassettes.
This is it,
things.
and that's the problem. It's not identifiable. You can't access it because no one's thought to preserve it, or maybe I don't know. I mean, I always look on eBay, look at cassette collections, and just in case I see something of off air, because it does happen, stuff does turn up. And they don't have to be sort of official air checks and things, but if there's someone who's recorded programs off on cassette or reel-to-reel tape, and we've found things in the past, but it's just such hit and miss, isn't it? Really, yeah.
There seems to be like Facebook pages and a community in the US and Europe and the UK of people who. That's their hobby, getting old tapes, restoring them of old programs. But there doesn't seem to be that
There's not the same
here.
interest. I suppose we're such a small country in comparison. There's just not the groundswell. You need to have critical mass, I think, to get these things up and running. Yeah, I mean, there are Facebook groups for all our sort of local communities and their history and stuff like that. And people are happy to share photographs, but there's not much about our recorded history at all.
No.
Which is a real pity.
There's probably more TV history because people recorded VHS tapes from the 1980s,
true.
I suppose.
That's right.
Yeah, you're right.
On videotape and the like.
Yeah.
And they'd leave it running and it's recorded all the ads and stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess until the cassette tape, not many people had recorders.
No, that's right. Yeah, not many people had a buyer with a radio in it.
No.
That's right.
Yeah.
I found some more fantastic photos. Just
look,
incredible.
I'm looking forward to delving. I've had a really, really big week, so I want to get down and have a look at all those pictures too. Yeah, that's good.
But look, it's an interesting thing. I guess the thing is, if I didn't have like a station to run, I'd find doing all this research just totally stupid. Why? It's a waste of it. What purpose does it serve?
Yeah.
But when it's going out, hopefully, and other people might enjoy it, it makes it actually, if I spend all night till dawn looking at stuff, it's actually got a purpose.
Oh, it does have a purpose. It's very worthwhile. Don't be discouraged if you're not getting feedback, because I think it's just a good thing to do. It's just doing it. It's important. It's the presence. It's there, and people do listen.
Look, I'm sure they do.
They do.
Look, sometimes, later at night, you look on the SDRs up in northern New South Wales, and you've got the broadcast band, nothing, 2.30, nothing, 4835. Then you go to the 6 megs and all the high power stations.
Yeah.
I think this stuff sticks out like dog's balls.
Yeah.
Somebody must be seeing it or hearing it.
Yeah. There must be. Look, I think people must do market research as well from the bigger stations, just to get an idea of what's actually happening. Otherwise, all those Chinese stations wouldn't be there.
That's right.
That's right.
I mean, they must have some idea of what's going on, and those Digitex sets evidently sell. They wouldn't have them in the shops if they didn't sell.
Yeah.
So someone's buying them, and SDRs is another option. I don't know how you sort of determine how many people use SDRs, but look, it's out there. But I think the other side of it is that people's lives are just, people tend to live in their own little digital sphere as
They
well.
do.
But they've always done that, I suppose, to some degree. But no, it's certainly worthwhile. You must keep doing what you're doing. So I think it's a good thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll have to. I'll make more of a point. I mean, in winter it's not so easy because I can't play much stuff inside. But I've got the CR6 next to my bed, and I often listen on that late at night. Or the 391's in here. That's permanently set up with its own antenna, which works really well for you. And that's just such a beautiful set. That's the one it came from the big house, and it's working like a dream. It's beautiful radio.
What radio is this?
It's the R391.
Oh,
the
yes,
Collins.
that's the big house.
Yes, the big house. And I mean, that's a beautiful set. Yeah. So works very well. So I've got that permanently on on 4 megs. Or
It's
5,
look, I
5
think
megs.
I must admit, since I've been here, I used to listen to you a bit. Now it's not no reason to sort of
No,
thing.
that's fair
Oh,
enough.
that's it.
And I was just thinking, standing here talking, I haven't talked on a crossband since over a year, well over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had
And I remember standing at the rack in that dark garage
Yes.
with all the shit, and
Yes.
I think, thank God that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you've moved
do it
on.
anymore.
You've got different priorities now. So it's natural.
And
Yeah. No, it's good. I mean, I think you made the best choice. Yeah, it's worked out very well for you, really. I mean, you're in a fantastic location. So,
Great thing to be able to do, isn't it, really?
it is. And I've been getting rid of a lot of stuff too, because across the road at the junk farm,
oh, yes.
there's a 100-foot pit of mine.
Ah,
Pretty dangerous, actually. You could walk right into it if you didn't know it was there.
right.
And
Okay.
I've poured like buckets, tons of stuff down there.
Okay.
But unfortunately, that stopped because
Right.
they've the people there have put security cams,
Oh.
because someone went in with a truck and took a lot of stuff.
Tricky.
Oh, is this the place that, with all the railway carriage and stuff?
That's right, yes.
Oh,
And so I think
gosh.
if
Okay.
you'd be caught giving them stuff rather than taking it.
Yeah. That's fascinating. Gosh, so they've got cams up there. I mean, I thought there was absolutely no interest in that block whatsoever. And they hadn't
Well,
been.
apparently, like last around Christmas, there's a few truck cars there, and I went over, and it was the family that owned it,
Oh, okay.
and the old man had tuttled apparently,
Oh, really? And so there's
and,
another
working out
generation
something.
working out what to do.
and from what I gather, there's a bit of a dispute between different parts of the family,
Oh, really?
and I think some of the people who took the stuff were actually part of the family.
I see. Okay.
Anyway, so it's a bit of a
That can
it's
be-
illegal crap down there. What do they expect people to do with
Well,
it? It's going to be stolen. Isn't
well, it's not sort of kept in good order, is it?
it? No, it isn't.
It's sort of just.
So it looks like
it's a tip,
the
really.
playground's out of bounds for a little while.
Yeah. Gosh. Okay.
But I have found some more fantastic ruins and stuff. Just
Oh,
absolutely amazing.
brilliant! I'm all for ruins, so I'll try and get down in the next holes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very keen to have a look around, and that'd be most excellent. So you just sort of, do you get out on your bike much, or you sort of?
Look, I go out all the time.
Great.
If you're getting a bit bored, or or something, or
Yeah,
just all you have to do is go 10 minutes in the middle. It's just incredible.
yeah. I was fascinated by those sort of that sort of arid country we walked through when I visited you last.
That's right.
That was absolutely fascinating, amazing.
There's a lot of stuff like that. And
Yeah, sort of like moonscape. Not.
It is like being out in the real outback.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's sort of really low profile, low scrub, and just very arid, fascinating, and sort of endless.
You
Fast.
can't see any houses or any
No, you
facilities.
can't. That's it. Yeah. It's a pity we couldn't call in earlier in the year, because I did that walk down at the Sunset Country, and
yes.
I quite like that sort of country. I enjoy the sort of spaciousness of it. It's good. We went to the Pink Lakes. That's where we walked.
Well, around here you've got that microcosm of that mallee sort of country,
Yeah.
and it moves from, as you know, from that low mallee to higher mallee, then quite big ironbark trees and
Yeah.
things,
Yeah. Sure.
all within like a kilometre.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, okay. Well, you're in a fairly low-lying area, so it's quite green, and you've got some fairly tall trees. And have you had much flooding or much water ingress since the big floods, or is that all sort of?
Oh, well, not around the house or anything.
No.
The creek was flood. Well, did you see the video? The
Yeah,
whole
I
creek
did. I
was
did. I
flowing
saw
and
that.
everything.
That was sort of a major thing. But I was wondering, is that all sort of settled down, or is it?
Oh yes, well, it's sort of. It didn't do any damage. It's just what happens here,
Yeah.
You get a big downpour and then it stops for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
But
Sure.
no, it's like I don't know. Just I should get to work and build some more mitters or something. But everything's working so well.
Well, if it's working really well, I'm interested to know how the that Codan array is going. Are you using that the two, the single sideband, the two. What was it? You can describe
combining
it.
it.
Yes, the combining
All right.
Yeah,
system.
look, I tried it for a while. It is super loud. It is incredible.
Right. Okay. Well, you've got me excited about that. When you mentioned it last time, I thought, wow, I've got to build something like this. Yeah.
What I'll do, I'll get that the thing with the 813s in it,
Yeah, yeah.
and put it maybe 300 watts, then add sideband to that, because what I was doing before, I had more sideband than carrier.
I see.
Right.
And it was okay.
Yep.
I had it the way it worked out that it's a bit hard. You've got to make sure that you don't overdo the carrier, otherwise sound goes into sideband, particularly with fades and things where the carrier goes down.
Yep. Yep.
It can sound quite bad.
Sure.
But it sounds really powerful. It's just an incredible way of getting AM.
Wow, that's it sounds great. Well, you've got me thinking there about a standby situation or an alternative. It's probably good to have a couple of systems in play, and it could be good. And did you get to catch up with Mr. Newbeck a few weeks ago? Did he come down?
Good.
Yeah, he came down. Did he? Did he come down to your place?
Oh, he did. Yes, he came down here. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Visited.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So he had quite a good time, I think.
Oh, that's good. Yes,
I don't think I'll be having any birthdays. I think from now on they're cancelled.
Are they?
You don't need them, do you?
I'm not I wasn't going to have one, and a few people said, have one, and maybe I'll just short notice.
Yep.
But I just don't want to celebrate.
Yeah.
Age
Oh, well.
anymore,
No.
really.
Well, the age thing, it's a myth. Don't worry about the age. It's just a number. Yeah.
is.
Yeah. We just keep moving forward. But I suppose it's just an excuse to catch up with a few people. Did you get a few visitors that weekend?
Oh, yeah, we did get a few visitors over the time there. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Well, it's
So,
good.
It was
And-
quite fun.
Yeah. Mr. Marks, of course, he's sort of in your neck of the woods,
Well,
really.
he is,
He's
yes.
and-
Drummond.
Yes, that's right, and he's always doing projects. I see his blog. Yeah, he's a busy man, working things out. Yeah, into his little digital projects and things. He's very good with his programming, isn't he? He's got
He's
got
a big programmer.
yeah, but that's good. Well,
You can get AI to write a program.
well, that's what
you say.
that's
"Can
what
you,
they say.
In whatever language, double C plus or something. Can
Oh,
you
yeah.
write a program to this, that, and the other thing, and it goes away, thinks about it, and comes back with all the code.
Well, that's what they say. That's what that's the next. That's what's happening now. AI.
Programmers are probably one of the professions more worried than anyone.
I'd say
Yeah, that's
they
right.
would be. I'd say so because I think AI is capable of writing. Is really can write its own code.
That's
It's on
right.
its own street, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. So it's a sort of self-fulfilling sort of scenario. It just can keep building momentum, and eventually it'll write code better than anyone can write it, and it'll go in leaps and bounds while we sit there and just watch it all happen.
Watch it take over the world.
Yeah.
Watch it create viruses or whatever.
Are you still using the same setup there on
Yeah,
160?
yeah, totally. It's the same. It's working really well. It's been very good. It's been absolutely no issue. I'm a bit worried that the signal generator is going to die at some point,
Yep.
so I really have to find a substitute. It's working okay, but it's an oldie, and it does funny things sometimes, and it's a very complex thing, and I don't know how long it's going to last. That's the weakest link, I think. Codan's doing a good job, inserting the carrier.
The signal generators, like I really need. Well, I've still got the two I use, like the Marconi and the
Yeah,
other one,
sure.
the whatever it is. But
Yeah.
the two I'm using, of course, are just you just dial it up physically, so it doesn't matter if the power goes on and off; it comes back on the same settings,
Right, okay.
which is really good.
That is good.
I don't know if I'd like to rely on a software generator for this purpose,
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
unless it had a no break power supply and all that stuff.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, the one I'm using here will always start up at the same frequency when it switches back on, which is useful.
Yeah.
But it's it's sometimes it just does strange things. It scrambles and switches off, or just does weird stuff, and it's incredibly complex. And so the very first generation of synthesized signal generators. So I think it predates the units that you use. It's a bit older, so probably less robust.
I think I've left mine on continuously for a year. I leave the signal generators on.
Yes, that's a good idea.
And what else do I leave on? That's about it, really.
Yep, but you've got those sort of later. You've got those that unit with the numbers. That you. It's got all the diodes in it. Where you dial up the number manually, don't you?
Yeah, I've got the big one, the Singer.
The Singer, that's right. Yes.
And the smaller one, the Kairitsu, which is a similar sort of thing.
Right. Yes. But they're not relying on digital. Synthesized. Thing, because it's they seem to be a lot simpler and less problematic, perhaps. Yeah, but they seem to work well.
Well, I think a modern signal generator would be quite okay.
Yeah, I've never looked at the latest. I mean, you see heaps of them on eBay. I don't know what they're like.
Yeah, well, maybe you should buy one.
Should just get one and try it out and see.
They're not that expensive.
No, they're not. You can get one under $200. Yeah, they're quite good. Yeah, sure.
I'm just going to go and get a cup of tea.
Yeah, no worries. That's fine. Yeah, so...
But the signal generator is the weak link.
Yeah.
If they failed, I can use the other ones.
Sure. Okay.
I prefer not to leave them on all the time, and then I have a one of those that multimeter thing has got a signal generator built in.
Okay. Right.
Quite a good one, actually.
Oh, right. Okay.
And it puts out tons of power.
Does it really? Okay.
So
sure.
I could use that.
So it's not full of fans and things, though, is it? Or
no. It's a handheld multimeter with a Crow display,
Oh,
LED
right, that handheld thing. Okay.
Yeah, I got it at a Hamfest.
Yes, I think you showed it to me. Yeah, okay, I remember seeing that.
It's amazing what it does.
Right, okay. Wow.
It's a dual trace Crow up to gigs, and it's got a signal generator and all that stuff.
Wow, that's incredible, isn't it? So you can use that if you wanted to.
Yeah, I did leave it on for a couple of days to see if it works like that, and it stayed okay.
Okay, didn't reset itself and do funny things.
No.
Okay. Oh,
and the other Singer that I think I got from you.
Yeah.
I've never been able to get it to work.
Oh, really? I thought it was just dead on 160.
It was dead on the 1 to 2 meg band.
Oh, right.
But on my good one, when you switch bands, the level's the same. You set the level, it stays the same.
Sure.
I think there's a level equalizing module in there.
Yep.
Because obviously when you're going up from 1 meg to 10 gigs, the level's going to change.
Sure.
And there's some feedback thing.
Okay.
And I noticed that all the different ranges had different levels, like by about 20 dB or something. It was totally hopeless.
Right.
And now when I turn it on, it doesn't work at all.
Oh.
And I'm not even going to try and...
Oh, that's a pity, isn't it?
So complex.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to muck around with that. Okay. That's a shame, because I thought it was working on 5 megs for you, but it would. It
was, but what would happen over time? It would drop 10 dB, then go up 20 dB.
No. It's
which is no good for what I want.
Fault condition. Unless there's a board you can just whip out and change over with another one.
Well, that could be.
Yeah, but
I really, to tell you the truth, I really haven't got the time and the interest to stuff around with
you end up spending
electronic stuff.
Yep, that's fair enough. No, look, it sounds like you've realigned your priorities a bit. Or the thing is, you've got a system that's working for you.
Well, that's right,
and it's working really well, and you might as well just sort of not interfere.
The power is totally irrelevant. I mean, you switch to half power, you can hardly even tell. And if I had to use a Codan just straight out, run 30 watts, no one would know, probably.
Yeah.
I was just looking tonight, I was switching some antennas and checking the difference. Now, the big innovation here is, since I changed to Optus, the phones actually work around here.
Well, there you go. That's sort of nice to enter the 21st century, isn't it?
Yep, and I couldn't have done this before.
Yeah.
And now I can go up to the containers and do adjustments and look at it there on the SDRs.
Ah.
Because what I had to do
Yep.
was set up the computer here off the Wi-Fi, off the internet,
Yep.
and then have a record screen thing.
Yep.
Then hop on the bike, go up through all the kangaroos and everything,
Yep.
up to the containers, do my tests, come back, then replay and see what differences it makes.
Oh, okay. That's
And
very
of course
convoluted.
You go up, do the test, you come back, and you find out you hadn't set something up properly or went off or whatever.
Yes, yeah, hopping backwards and forwards. Well, now you can just do it on your phone.
I know.
How about that? Yeah.
And
21st century.
We even had the wireless internet here. I used to. I'd hop in the car, drive up the hill, set the phone up on the SDR, get the video camera, film the phone, drive down for half an hour, do the test, then drive up. Then you found the stone you had the camera on fallen over.
Oh, I know.
And you'd have to come back and do a whole test again.
Yes.
Or the card had run out, or the
Yes.
battery had run out in the phone or the camera.
Oh, no, it's
It was a pain in the
crazy,
arse.
crazy.
Now I
Well,
can just do it up there
You
and it's
can.
fine.
Well, it's holding up very well. There's no glitches. It's a very solid, your Optus. So you must have an Optus tower. Well, you got a tower, a new tower, don't you, or something? Didn't you say
there's
they've
a tower. There's the NBN tower, which is about 7K away,
Yeah.
which we get
Mm-hmm.
quite very well. There's a big Optus tower at Raywood,
Oh, okay.
but there's no Telstra tower. The nearest Telstra tower is basically, the other side of the forest, about 30K away.
Oh, well, there we go. That's the reason. Well,
And I think
good
Raywood's
move.
got an Optus, a Telstra, like a 1 microwatt phone cell from the telephone exchange.
right.
It doesn't even cover the main street properly.
Yeah.
It's pathetic.
It is pathetic. It's crazy. Yeah.
Telstra's pathetic.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Oh, well, that's good that the Optus have something that's it serves your
it's
needs.
made a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. It works really well. Yeah.
And it's half the price of Telstra.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
It's twice the data, half the price,
Yeah,
and it works. I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't make
Fancy
sense,
it's a
does
bit of a no-brainer, really. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, well, that's good. At least you can do your tests on the fly. That makes a big difference, not having to
It
muck
makes
around.
a big difference.
Yeah, just being able to, because you do. Yeah, I mean, you do have, for the listener, you do have quite a space between the different operational points in your
I
system.
know. And if I have to go down to the other shack, then that's a long.
Yeah, what's
Walk
quite a
right.
distance. Yeah,
And of course, if a creek's flowing, you can't get through. Now, I've done some tests on 4 megs.
Yeah.
I've put up different antennas, and gee, it's coming through well now. Now, anyway, my main antenna's up about 50 feet.
Yep.
Now I've got that's east-west. I've got a north-south about the same height.
Yes.
Switching between them, like different times of the day, local distance, all that stuff, hardly makes any difference.
Really.
Really?
Okay.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
Then I've put one up at 20 feet, and the difference is minimal.
Right.
It's not quite as good, interstate, maybe 1 or 2 dB down. It's just as good for Melbourne.
Yep.
It's like the effort of putting one up, like this one I just put up with the ordinary size squid pole over a tree.
Yep.
It's easy, and the benefit of putting something up twice as high really,
It's very
Not
marginal.
worth the effort.
It's not-
yeah, it probably isn't a long term, but it wouldn't make. It's not the end. It's really a minimal thing.
Isn't it interesting?
I mean, while you're experimenting, it's a lot easier to keep things down a bit lower, I guess.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Now, also, everyone's saying, "Oh, you got to use a vertical. Use a vertical." I tried a vertical, and I put all a full length vertical on 4 megs.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
50 feet or whatever, 48 feet,
Mm-hmm.
and all earth radials and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very interesting test because interstate, it works about as good as the dipoles.
Mm-hmm.
It does not get into Melbourne or local any time of the day.
Goodness me. Okay.
Because all the energy is going towards the horizon.
Yes.
There's no up and down bit,
No, I can understand.
and it's useless for local coverage.
Yeah, well, sort of an inverted V is a bit of the best of both worlds, really, isn't it? I mean, you by putting in the horizontal
Components of each, haven't you?
Well, look, I've tried inverted Vs. I did a lot of tests with them. The dipole's better as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Okay.
Better local and distant.
Okay. Sure. Wow, that's
So
great. Oh, it's good. It's good that you've taken time to do these tests comprehensively and understand your environment. And I mean, it sounds
I
like
think the problem is people look at the theory, and the theory works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. If you have a perfect antenna in a perfect location with a perfect earth, perfect everything, the theory works. But using trees, this sort of land, whatever, it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, this is it. You've got to suck it
So
and see.
many
You've got
unknown
to test it out.
things happening.
Yeah. I think you just have to work with your environment and understand its peculiarities. There's possibly things that are not necessarily obvious that affect the status quo. I mean, you have to have time to do it.
Just trial and error, I guess, isn't it? Really,
It
a
is.
lot.
And the 2 meg, I've got an east-west and a north-south, both about the same height, about 60 feet dipoles. Makes no difference which one I use. They're just the same.
Yep.
And I've tried a vertical for that as well, a top-loaded vertical. And it seems to get into South Australia okay. It's probably okay, but not quite as good in some cases. And it's more of a hassle because it's a highly tuned thing and all that.
Yeah, sure.
Whereas dipoles just work,
Yeah, that's right. It's a true and tried technique. So you obviously got enough. The trees all around don't affect things at all. You're not getting absorption issues and stuff like that.
I think here probably, if in a rainforest, probably it would work.
Yeah, because it's a fairly dry, sclerophyll
Yeah, it's
sort
pretty
of forest.
dry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, fair enough.
I knew, like at Millgrove, nothing seemed to work because the trees are always wet.
Yeah. It's just the environment. During the floods, then, did you find things did that affect when there was a lot of moisture in the ground? Was that
Well, not really.
Okay.
Like it's been wet the other week, and nothing changed much.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently, this ground's quite conductive. I think it's all the gold in there.
Interesting. Yeah. Frank, we've lost you again. I think you might have.
It's got a heat problem.
Yeah, maybe you do. Maybe you just have to do a restart, and just give it a minute and another. Or maybe use lower power, perhaps, there, Frank.
I could be doing endless videos on how to do this stuff, but I couldn't care less, really.
No, well, you've already done a lot, though. It's been a sort of topic of, for a long time we've been talking about these things. So you don't need to do videos. But it's very time-consuming. But keep doing them when you get good stuff at the Hamfest, because that's always interesting to see.
That's right. I'll tell you what, I'm listening on the Helicraft.
Oh, are you really?
Fantastic set.
Oh, marvellous. They're one of the most stylistic, beautiful styled sets that I've seen.
I know.
They look so good. They're Art Deco styling.
The big H on the speaker.
Yes, he is so official.
And they're actually a very basic circuit.
Right.
There's nothing special, but they seem to work.
Okay. Wow.
Very good.
Oh, that's tremendous.
And it sounds cool. I'm plugged some Sennheisers in the phone's plug. Sounds quite good.
Okay, so it works okay with low
Quite fine.
impedance phones. It can.
Well, it seems to work on anything.
Wow, gee.
And yeah.
Okay, you don't have to use your Brown's headset.
No, they sound crap.
Good old
You've seen all
Brown.
those old radio station photos, and the DJs are wearing browns.
They are. They must have had the
Can you
hottest
imagine how
ears.
their ears would feel after a shift?
They would feel terrible. Imagine how hot your ear would be, and not just the bad piggy sound, but they hurt.
They hurt. You'd think they would have designed with rubber or something.
You'd think so. I've often thought that. Why didn't they have like Sennheisers have the ones I'm using now, the 414s with the nice cushy things. They could have done that with Browns and made them much more comfortable.
I think they had to have that pushed your ear to get the impedance.
Yes, I think it's a part of the circuit, isn't it?
Like
Part of the
your
mystique of the whole thing.
Yeah.
your ear canal was part of the acoustic circuit.
Yeah.
Because if you push them really hard to your head, there's some bass.
There is.
But
You're
once
right.
they're a bit loose, there's no bass.
There's no bass at all. So you need to clamp them on, get a C clamp, and put
That's
your
right.
Browns on, and turn it and torture yourself.
It's interesting how headphones took a long time to sort of mature.
It's true.
Till the 50s, really.
It really is until the 50s. You don't see anything but Browns and Brandies and all of those sort of telephonic headsets were the only thing, really, weren't they? I mean, there was nothing else, or nothing you see. Yeah, and it wasn't until sort of things like the 414s came out.
The brands from 1922 or whatever, which I've got a set of,
Yeah.
they're the most old-style headphones. They really sound quite good.
Are they about 4,000 ohms or something? They're probably really sense, are they?
Yeah, and they've got. I remember listening when I had crystal sets, and I put these brands headphones on,
Yep.
and you could hear there's quite a bit of bass in them.
Yes.
I was going to do a half did a video years ago on different headphones, not like what I did to the speakers,
Yes.
but if you push them to your head, there's actually real bass.
Okay. Right.
And I remember when I used to listen on my crystal set, I could just, the 10kc was piercing to your ears.
Yeah.
And all this super tings you never heard on the mantle radio
Right.
just bashed through.
There you go.
And I listen to them now, and there's obviously a peak at 9 or 10k that make them sound like that.
Yes.
But they were quite pseudo-fi.
Yeah.
So if you were listening to a radio program in 1925, they probably would have been the finest thing to hear them on.
I expect they would have been. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. It's an experience. It's amazing how varied they can be. I think the magnetism goes in them, and it's probably not testing them out these days is probably not truly representative of what they were like.
Flash them.
Yes, you can. Yeah, and that's because I had a few sets here, and I was mucking around with them, and because I've set up a crystal, I found this lovely old crystal set from the 20s, and I've set it up next to my bed, and I'll just listen to Radio National and stuff on it, and I tried a whole lot of headphones, and I tried Brown's Type Fs and a whole range of them, and there was one I can't remember what it is. I think they're old military headphones, but they were so much better than the others, so much more sensitive. So ended up sticking with those. I mean, I don't use it very much.
Which headphones were these?
Oh, I think they're RCAs or something. They're old military ones, but they're really quite sensitive. But they are old style, just telephonic. But I just like using it because it's just sort of because I'm a stickler for nostalgia.
I mean, they had them at Broadcast House as the main headphones in the booths to listen to stuff.
Yeah, that's it. I see it in the photos. It's amazing. They're sitting there with even people like Grantley D and in the later generations are still using them.
I know. Stan Rofe and Fee.
I know. Stan Rofe sitting there with these old cans. I mean, wow.
Can you imagine queuing things up on them?
Oh, God.
And there'd be feedback because there's no...
There's a little leakage.
I know, there'd be leakage. Oh, man, it's unimaginable. Yeah.
So just like throwaway... That's what headphones were, just bad things.
That's right. They were just telephones.
Yeah.
300
the military stuff had... often the 62 set headphones and stuff were like a rubber foam.
Yes, I've got a set of those here too. Yeah, they did.
And they were with a coil and like a loudspeaker, they were much more fine.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
And didn't hurt your ears as much.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they had they certainly went to the extra yard, but your average broadcast station would have just sat there and had with bleeding ears by the end of their shift.
That's right.
It was the AKGs, wasn't it? The first those with the funny.
Yes, that's right. The AKGs.
They were quite good before Sennheiser sort of took
Yes,
over.
that's right. The AKG 50s or whatever they were. Yeah, I know the ones. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
But it's interesting how people put up with it.
They certainly did. Yeah.
They had super fine monitoring speakers, but crap headphones.
Yeah, I know.
Now it's the other way around.
It is the other way around. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Now, talk about speakers.
Oh, yes.
You know the Oratones?
Oh, yes.
I've set them up on my desk. I've got the two RCAs in the top room there.
Yeah.
And I've got the Oratones on the desk either side of the screen.
Oh, yeah.
They're fantastic speakers for, they're fantastic speakers.
Yep.
They're
Near-field monitors.
The most flat-sounding speaker.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing is, small speakers try always to be big speakers.
They do.
And they don't sound like big speakers.
Mm-hmm.
And they might sound impressive, but after a while, if you're spending hours editing or whatever, they're just not right. But the Oratones are beautiful and smooth.
Yep. And they don't try to be anything else.
Switch the RCAs, that's a totally different thing. You can't compare them to that. But for what they are, listening to speech or whatever, they're amazing. Yes,
they work very well. For what they're designed to do, they're perfect for the job, and you don't get sort of standing waves. It's interesting. They're obviously really well thought out because they don't have funny resonances and sort of zippy zones and things like that. They are very smooth.
And the stereo separation's fantastic as well.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, no, they're perfect for the job. And they're you see them, all those old photos, every studio had an Oratone sitting on the desk, and that's probably what they ended up mixing on.
I think so.
I think that was the arbiter. And it also sort of reflects what the average Joe Blow might have been using as well to some point. So it provides probably a more accurate reference.
I find if you're just looking at like talk or YouTube talk videos or whatever, they're beautiful. You can turn them right down, but they're so clean that you don't have to listen to them loud.
That's right.
And
they don't have that peaky mid-range, which is so often a problem with.
Very tiring, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It wears you out. But no, they're good speaks.
So I'm a big fan of Oratones.
Yeah, of the Oratones. You still got your sandwich speakers. And because they're also quite good. I quite like monitoring on those. Yeah. I've installed the 300s in here now. So the three-way. So the three-ways.
They were fantastic.
Yeah, they sound excellent. Actually, they sound really, really good.
Super tinkles come through them.
That's right. You get an extra octave, and they're nicely balanced, and for the sort of near field. In the sense that where I've got them set up, so they suffice. They're great. So it's good to keep rolling speakers. I'm hoping that the Altex will come about in the next little while.
We've got Altex coming.
Well, there's the potential for some Altex 604s, and if that works out. That'll be a very interesting speaker to experiment with, but I'll have to do it somewhere else.
What model are they?
I think they're the 604s, the huge ones, the big 15-inch. They were the main competitor to the RCA LC.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bit of a backstory which I can fill you in.
Are they the one the ABC got?
Yeah, the ABC had a set.
Are those square box type ones?
No, they're in big, huge cabinets like yours. And that's I'll fill you in on the backstory, and we'll report on it if it happens. But it's on the cards, and I'd love to try them out. But they are quite similar to the LC 1Cs. We've been using those a lot lately. Actually, I haven't got the right cabinets for them, but they do work so. They've got such a liquid mid range. The RCAs, God, they're aligned. They're so smooth. Great for singers, great for vocals.
It's because I'm using them basically as near-field speakers at the moment.
You're right.
And you go from the Oratones to the RCAs. It's like a shock.
Yeah.
And it's good to have the two types of speakers to go backwards and forwards.
Definitely, because your ears condition very quickly to one experience.
They do. They accept it as normal after a while.
They do. That's so
if
true.
you're listening to music like it could be classical music, organ music, whatever.
Yep.
and you think, oh, you think you're listening to the RCAs, but you're listening to the oratones.
Yeah.
And gee, that sounds great, aren't these? Hang on, and you switch the switch, and then it's like there's a whole extra octave you didn't even know.
Yeah, that's it. It's amazing how much our brain does to sort of to recondition or to sort of re-equalize, or there's a real psychoacoustic thing, especially when you're switching.
I mean, that's the whole reason that people get away with crap speakers, you know.
Yeah,
They don't know.
Yeah, they don't, and they condition, and that sort of fits the. But it's interesting.
But anyway, the Altex would be interesting. But,
they will be. If they happen, it'll be a really fascinating journey. But I'll have to set them up somewhere else.
Where can put them? They sound like they're huge.
Oh, they're enormous. I'm thinking if it works out, there's a space in my folks' garage we decked out as a room when I was a teenager, and we're thinking of setting it up as a sort of mini cinema. A little sort of to watch concerts.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's full of my junk at the moment, but I just have to get rid of more stuff and just use it for that purpose, and put some lounge chairs in there and couches and sit and watch concerts.
Are they as big as Dave's RCA?
Oh yeah, they're enormous. They're big corner speakers, huge. They're well, not quite as big, but they'd be 5 feet. About 5 feet high, and sand-filled panels that go into corners.
What are the active elements? What are they?
Oh, they're another sort of. They've got they're 15-inch speaker with the middle. It's got like a flared cone in the middle. It's like a compression driver set within the unit. So they're a little bit like tannoys, and. With a compression driver in the middle with a little flared horn. They're
serious power.
Yeah. Oh, look, they're supposed to be extraordinary, but they're really designed for soundry and big venues and things. But we'll see if it happens. It's
the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I've been looking at concerts on YouTube.
Oh yes.
And listening with a big sound and 4K. Having the video. It just makes an amazing atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's not as good as being there, but it's pretty close.
Yes, you can certainly capture the whole experience, definitely.
And you can look at the expression on the faces of the soloists and things.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yes, definitely. And classical concerts, there's so many now on YouTube.
I know.
I mean, you can just spend your life in a booth. But,
In fact, when I go back, I might look at one here.
Yeah.
Again tonight. I can do that 2 a.m, listen to a loud classical concert.
That's right. You can set yourself up for it. No, that's it's an indulgence, that's for sure. But it's certainly a worthwhile thing to look. Everything's up there. And I don't get anything like the number of touch wood copyright issues anymore. It seems like that's all loosened a lot.
I think they've given up.
Yeah, it seems like I haven't had any community guideline issues. The only thing I get is a note saying that my missions are not heard in Belarus or Russia, and that doesn't worry me in the least. No. So that's the only thing. There's nothing. I used to get them sort of weird things all the time, like not heard in Morocco or Argentina, or you're not here, there, or somewhere else. Not that it matters, but it was just bizarre that the algorithm was spitting out all this stuff. And that no longer happens. It seems to be sort of.
It seems weird that you get picked up on some esoteric 100-year-old 78, and people have got complete modern movies and CDs and the whole lot up there.
Yes, I'm wondering if being sort of having YouTube Premium gives you certain extra license, or whether they relax the algorithm because you're paying a monthly fee, or whether, I don't know. I mean, that's certainly not a part of the contract.
Well, I don't put much up, really.
No, they never admit that.
No, but I don't know how it works. It just seems very indiscriminate, and the way that sometimes you can sort of get a sharp kick in the shins, like I had a strike a while ago over nothing. I think it was a 78 like the Toscanini one I played, and I appealed it, and it was rejected, and it was bizarre. It was just so left of field.
It's ridiculous.
I think it might be the algorithm went.
I think it just did some sort of spew, and then I and I think the review's also done by AI, but I expect they're improving their systems all the time, and it's just a bit more seamless, and it's not just sort of full of little hallucinations all the time. Yeah.
Well, of course, used to discuss this all the time, but
Yeah.
that the fact that that they can actually take your channel down. I mean,
No. Well, that's
and people put so much work.
I know.
And if the worst, they take it down for a month or something, but never actually destroy it. And you've got no recourse to
No,
anybody.
you don't. Well, that's right. It's the nature of a private, you're working with a third party who basically own all your content, so you're selling yourself. That's what you have to accept, I suppose. But you'd like to think that there's some recourse. I mean, if I ever get a strike again, I'll do what I did last time. I'll wait for my 3 months and just go to the Internet Archive and just... And that's what I did last time, and just did 6 months worth of missions there, and then went back to YouTube, and I've had no trouble since, touch wood.
In some respects, the archive is better because people can download it much easier.
They can, that's right. And I was certainly getting more hits there.
You were?
Yeah. A lot of them seem to getting 40, 50 hits.
You should go back to it.
Well, maybe I should. Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't cost anything.
Doesn't. No, that's right. It was a little bit more work for me, and it didn't have the live component, so I'd have to upload the program later. So it didn't have the advantage that people could listen to it as they may be doing online now. So that's the glory of the YouTube thing is effectively a live feed.
A live broadcast.
Which sort of which may have some appeal. Personally, I like listening to something if I know it's live as opposed to it being re-recorded. It sort of feels a bit more prescient, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but so there's that aspect to it. But look, it seems to be working, and it'd be good if you could suddenly have an automatic back. This is where AI could probably write to a program to you could say, I just want a program to back up my files on the Internet Archive seamlessly without me knowing. This is where it's going to get really good, I reckon. It'll
just write you out of life, basically.
Yeah, you could just say whatever you want. It'll just write something for you and do it, and you won't have to muck around with all of this, connecting and alignment and stuff. Yeah, so maybe that's the future.
You must have so many programs up now.
I think there's it's over 1,500.
Really?
It's probably getting closer to 2,000. It's been, we've been doing it for about 67 years now.
You're an old hand.
Well, not really. It's been since 2017, so that's not that long. For 5-6 years. Yeah, so a little while, but look, it's just keeps humming along. It's just something. Look, I'm interacting with the records here. Otherwise, there's no point in having them, and it forces me to listen and share the music. So that's my excuse. And
yes.
People don't have to listen. I don't care. I don't mind. I mean, very, very welcome to join in and listen, and that's fine, but I don't expect anyone to do that. So, yes, it's just a shared music session, really.
It's wonderful, really. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoy it too. I think it's just a fun, like a little ritual.
And I've learned a great deal as well.
Well, still on? I am, yeah.
No, we just learn as you go. Yeah, and I think the nature of it is that we sort of set it up so that there's always, both of us are sort of inhabiting new spaces and finding out new things. So and it's sort of the serendipitous nature does force you to, or it does sort of lead you towards listening to things that you may otherwise not hear.
That's right.
So that's sort of an attractive feature of it too. So. And just using the records here as a catalyst, as a point of departure. I'm really looking forward to catching up with Jamie again. So it's been ages. He's been really busy, and I've had a crazy year. And so we'll eventually catch up and hear something, because his collection is just so extraordinary. I mean, it'd be great to sort of have more of that really rare, fascinating material that's just nowhere else in the public domain. And yeah, I mean, that's always a thrill to have him along. So we'll try and do more of that. Yeah. Anyhow, so that's all on the cards.
I think it must be after 1:30, because I've got a clearer spectrum now.
Oh, right. Okay.
All right.
Okay, I have no idea what the time is. So we've been going oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, we're moving along. Yeah, okay. Well, that's good that the signal gets out so well.
Yeah.
And that you're hearing it.
It's fantastic.
Okay, so good. It's the equalisation's okay. It's not too boomy or bassy.
Sounds super fine on the on the 1939 radio.
Okay, nice to hear. Yeah, I'm using I picked up a 79 FT 7900 from the local club. Someone was selling one off cheap, and I'm using that for UHF at the moment. So I'm back to having Fire UHF.
Oh, good.
So that's happening.
Because one of the things about when you had that restricted UHF, I think that's the worst sort of distortion. It's like a 1920s, bad acoustic.
Sure.
There's just no body. Like, it's just so restricted.
Yeah, well, especially if people are listening on with a wide range system. I think if you're listening on a tinny speaker or a small speaker, it's probably just no different to anything else. But yes, for those listening on a wide range system, it's probably more less
it's just
palatable.
like even a muffled, narrow AM radio. At least there's some bass there or something. But those UHF, the modern sets are just restricted for 200 to 2.5K.
Yeah.
There's just nothing. They're just pure voice frequencies only.
Yep. That's the way they're designed, and it's right. But anyhow, look, we'll see how this goes, if it lasts the distance. But it's got a few fans on it, so it seems to be.
Used to sound fantastic.
Yeah, that was a borrowed unit. That was really good. Look, this hopefully will hold up. It's the same as one Chris uses. I've just got to make sure I've got a couple of fans on it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You've had some good success using the PAs, some old 440s, haven't you? I mean, that's been a big part of your R&D developments.
From what?
From old
Paging system.
No. TS 440, aren't they?
Oh, they're fantastic.
Yes, that's right. That's what you've been. You've done quite a.
I was experimenting with one the other day.
Yeah.
You can get 300 watts of carrier out of them.
Really?
Yep.
Good heavens.
Fancy that.
You run them at 15 volts because they're rated at 16 volts, I think.
Yeah.
And
wow.
they'll sit there with 300 watts.
My God. I used to have a 430.
Right.
That was
Of course,
pretty
they
good.
won't modulate. You need.
Yeah.
You can get about 50 watts of good AM.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good when you think about it.
Yeah. So theoretically you could use that for the carrier, and then you could use a codan for your mixed sideband.
Well, I was using two of those.
Right.
And another codan for the sideband.
Right. Okay.
And it worked okay. It was just a bit messy all on the bed. I think I showed you the photo of it.
Yes, I think you did. Yeah.
Too much mess. I just can't stand that.
Yeah.
And no, it's a way to go. And if you ever see a broken TS440 for $100 or something, they're the codans. In fact, I got a codan. Someone gave Anne some junk. They thought I might be interested.
Yeah.
I said, I don't want any junk. And I saw the photo of it. Oh, yeah, I will have it because there was a codan.
There's a codan in the mix.
727 or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
100 watt unit.
Yes.
And it's got, not that I'll use them, it's got the full 10 channels all occupied.
Yep. Okay.
And it's in quite nice condition.
Sure. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So,
okay.
yeah.
Well, that works well. Yeah. Well, this phone patch thing's been working really well. And what I'll do next time is I've got another little delegation mixer here, and I'll patch it into that with a different mic, and then I can equalize you a little bit more. And because I can't, on the main desk here, I can't equalize the mic channels, unfortunately. And that's a restriction of the broadcast desk. But on the other associated mixer, I can. So that's the one I use with Frank. So and I can also add some compression and stuff. So what we can do is just sort of even it out. And if you want to come on any time, you're very welcome.
I think I've come on now. I need to come on once a year.
Oh, it's up to you. But you're very welcome. It's always good to chat with you, Dave. It's really, really enjoy.
Well, now it's working. Of course, I'm out here. It's about -10.
Yeah.
And probably the fire's gone out inside. And
Fair enough. That's all right. Well, look, it's great. So yeah, look, if you feel like it, if you're in the mood, I'm always out for a chat, and we've got a system that works really well. So yeah.
Yeah, well, look, it's worked really well.
Yeah.
Five-way turf talk. Haven't had one for a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Been a good while. Yeah.
If you could patch Frank through the phone as well, then I wouldn't have the delay listening on 160.
Yes.
Would make it a little bit more convenient.
Oh, okay. With the yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I can see the point. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a thought.
Because I keep jumping in on top,
Yeah, I know. When you get that slight bit of latency, it's frustrating. Yeah. Anyhow, well, we could look at that. All right.
It's interesting. In the old days of the landline, and when you spoke to someone on a landline, I think, God, isn't this fantastic compared to a mobile phone?
Yes.
It's just like talking to someone. There's no delay and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But now every phone, I don't think people have landlines anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they do. Or our landline hasn't worked for a long time.
Yep. So every time you talk to someone, there's that delay, that terrible delay.
I know. I find it really frustrating. I rely. Timing is very important for me in conversations, and I find that sort of offset just spooks me. It's just something I haven't ever adjusted to and I prefer not to use them that much. But yeah, I understand what you say for sure.
Well, at least now I can get text, so you can communicate like that.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, I'm pleased to hear that's worked out really well for you. It's a good workable system, and we'll keep ahead. Look, just drop us a line anytime if you're changing program or if there's anything sort of generically that you're running for a while, and it just might be a bit of a prompt. But I do listen in, and but. Yeah,
The thing is, I don't want to be a slave. Like I load stuff into the computer.
Yeah.
If I work out what time things are coming on.
No, you don't. You don't want to be a slave to it.
No. Don't let it tie you down too much.
Yeah.
No, occasionally I listen in to make sure it's working, and I really don't want to have to worry about it.
No.
Otherwise, I won't do it, basically.
Yeah, I know. You don't want to be suddenly thinking, I've got to appease this person or that person and make it like that. No, I was thinking more of if you're having a flush of certain programs. But look, I'll keep it. I'll keep listening. That's the role of the listener, is to keep ahead of things and keep the ear to the set. So yeah, we can definitely do that, and yeah, that'd be good. I know that Mr. Newbeck's been using his adjusted AM3.
Oh, good.
Yes, so he was listening into the coffee break the other day. You can hear that all come through quite well, can't you? It all works well for you.
I've come through better here than at home.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it?
In fact, I'm listening on for 160 dipole at the moment.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
I should try and contact them. I could try one Saturday morning or something.
You could, yeah. I can listen out for you. I think Gus is around at them.
I don't think I could be bothered, but
no, fair enough.
I sometimes listen off the SDR and just record it and come back and have a listen to see what maybe you've done.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And talk about the carbon microphones. And
I know.
blah, blah, blah.
We tend to be on a little bit of a There's a certain sort of sequence of discussion sometimes.
And I can think, like I remember when I was, used to come on in your dark garage. It's a beautiful sunny day outside. You're in a dark garage talking about stuff you've talked 1,000 times about before.
I know. I do have that problem with it. And that's why I try and keep it very much within a 15, 20 minute short time frame. I'm usually busy at the other end, and because I that's the problem. The garage is dark and horrible, as is this room. I don't want to be in this room during the day.
Terrible rooms, no window rooms.
It's cold and it's just unpleasant. And I like the warmth of the sun, and I want to be outside. So especially when the weather's good. If it's a crap day, it's not so. It's a bit better, I suppose. Yeah.
We used to try and do those OBs, didn't you, in the backyard?
Oh yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, we did lot. Yeah,
hearing the birds and
that was
trees.
fun. Yeah, that was it. That was everyone practicing their instruments. Yeah,
good atmosphere.
Yeah, that was good. That was a bit of a thing during the lockdowns. We did that a lot. Yeah. And when the season's right, I'll do a few more of them. That should be fun. Yeah, it's good to get outside. I find it stifling being in this room is very cold. It gets really cold.
It's pretty stifling living with all that crap.
Yeah, there's a lot of rubbish. Yes.
I used to get so much fun. I'd take a wheelbarrow, put it in my valued goods.
Yeah.
I'd roll it over the road, up to the bush, and just tip it down the mine shaft.
Down the
and there'd be
mine
nothing
shaft.
for about 10 seconds and crash, bang, bang when it hit the bottom.
So it's it's like a gold mine shaft.
Yeah.
Wow. Gee.
It's a
Okay.
complete,
Yeah.
it's a big hole in the ground.
Okay. Like I remember you talking about the ones that was at cars. Wasn't there a place in the city where we used to
the
get
stairwell.
your stairwell? You used to chuck stuff down.
That's right,
With the
yeah.
branch and stuff. I remember hearing a few missions about that.
Yeah. No, it's good when you get rid of stuff.
Yes, I know. I'm slowly learning. We've got council cleanup actually at the moment,
good.
so I'll be doing something there. I'll be contributing to the waste, but I tend to pick up more than drop off. But that's anyhow, we'll work it out. It'll all come out in the wash.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, look, I haven't done this for so long, and now
Well,
I
it's been-
realise why I haven't.
Oh. Well, it's been good to have you on board. It's been good
Sure
to
it is.
it's good to catch up with you.
Yeah, well, now we know we can do it quite easily.
Yeah,
Do it some more.
totally. You're more than welcome. And
With the modern phone network.
yes, that's right. It's working out really well.
In
So
fact, we could have just rung each other up on a conference call and done the same thing.
we could have done the same thing. Indeed, we've done it before with Talkie, and more recently with what's it called, Zoom. Yeah, but it's all right. It's always fun to try something different. So yeah,
Well,
it worked.
I look at the phone. It hasn't even used much battery.
Okay, I don't know how much mine's used. I can't even see. It's all gone dark. I had to
It hasn't
recharge.
cost $1 million.
No, I hope not.
I pay by the month, so I suppose.
Yeah. Oh,
I
okay.
only pay so much.
I hope you haven't, accrued your whole monthly data in one episode. But
Oh, no.
I'll check it.
yeah, see how you
Okay,
go.
well,
All right
I
then.
might say evening.
Okay then,
Yeah,
Dave.
evening, morning, and
It's been most excellent. It's been good to catch up with you. And as I said,
you bet it has.
and if you ever feel like coming up, you're more than welcome. It's been good. So we'll see you soon. And look, in the warmer months, I'll come up and spend a couple of days. I'd like to spend. I do enjoy walking around and just checking out that area. It's great. And it'll be good to see everything in
This
action.
time of the year, it is very. The days are so short.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
And like you're walking around with a puffer jacket on all the time.
Yeah.
And it's
It's not.
it is pretty debilitating.
No fun at the moment.
It's not really. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. You don't even. Yeah, especially with these wet, miserable days. Yeah. All right then.
Okay, we'll let you get to sleep, and
Well,
then you can come
Yeah,
back to your booth
great to
tomorrow
catch
morning.
up.
Yes, back into the tomorrow morning. No.
Oh,
yeah.
won't that be fun?
No, thank you. I might make a short appearance tomorrow morning. I don't know. We've got so much. We've got visitors. We've got Kate's dad coming to stay tomorrow. I've got a good one to play at the end here. This is one from the collection, and this will tie the ribbons, I reckon.
Yeah?
And I won't even need to announce it. All it says on here is special record number 1. It says.
Oh,
Number 1.
very official.
It is indeed very official, number 1, and I think people might realise why once we put it on. So, and a good way to finish. So, thanks, Dave. Good
Yes,
to
thank
catch
you,
up.
Dave.
Okay, bye.
And we'll
Great to
see you
catch
next
up.
time. Best
Take care.
wishes, and thanks, Frank. We'll be back. Sorry, I got the wrong photo there. We'll be back again. Soon tomorrow probably. Yeah, I've got the Bees production tomorrow, but I think we'll be around for at least for about an hour, from about 5 to 6.
Sounds good.
Should be okay. If I end up going to the afternoon show, it may suddenly happen that I'm not, and in which case I'll give you a ring and the listener
Sure.
will understand, I'm sure.
That'll be fine.
Yeah, so there we go. There's a game plan.
Excellent. That was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, really enjoyed that. It's like old times, really, wasn't it?
Oh, it was.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll finish up with this special record number 1 for a special event. And yes, we'll catch up soon. So I'm vk3sl,
I'm vk3jr.
and we've been testing on 160,
Going to listening.
and it's 160 and on UHF. And we'll catch up soon.
Cheers, Steve.
Cheerio.
Excellent.